Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.
All right, welcome to the KVJ After the Show Podcast.
Kevin's eyes look insane, but he's got new hair. Virginia is a witch, and she farts in her chair. Jason is a spaz who's got an old man's ass. Welcome to the After the Show Podcast.
Yeah, hello, and happy Friday. Welcome to the KVJ After the Show Podcast. Here we go into another weekend.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feels like we need a weekend, huh? Been a crazy week.
I needed a weekend on Monday.
You need a beer?
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm going to start juicing again, and I'm going to have a few days of cleaning out the soul.
You are, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not going to go balls to the wall juice. I
Okay.
might have one meal a day, but the rest I'm going to replace with juice.
Okay. So
Yeah, I don't agree with it.
it's going all the way to the other side this weekend, huh?
Yeah.
Ping pong.
I've got to have balance because I went all the way to the dark side last weekend.
Well, I think balance is doing somewhere in the middle, right?
No, not for me.
Oh,
Yeah, because
okay.
you would be extreme. You're
Right.
either all
I don't know
or
if that's
nothing.
balance. I think balance is like you don't get so blasted one weekend and then you have a couple drinks the other one. Yeah, that's balance, right?
No, I'm a yeehaw seesaw. It's
I
either all the way up in the air or all the way down on
But
the ground.
is that considered balance
No.
if you ping from one extreme to the other?
I can speak on this because I'm the same type of personality. There's
Yeah.
nothing in the middle for me. It's either all or nothing. It's either extra cheese or I'm on a fucking diet. There's nothing ever in the middle. And I've been that
Yeah.
way since I was a child.
Right. So
And you're the same exact way.
I'm just curious, by definition, that is interesting. Is that, do you achieve balance by hitting each extreme on either side,
It feeds the beast.
or is balance doing a little mix of both somewhere in the middle?
Yeah, don't sweat it. We just know that a mood doesn't last forever. You just ride that mood, good or bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I'm feeling one way, I go that way.
If I'm in a happy mood, look the fuck out. It's it can be good. It's a lot.
Angie said that balance is nachos for lunch and salad for dinner.
There you go.
Is that balance? Yeah, I'm just kind of curious what everybody, it's probably based on the person. What is your definition of balance? Is balance, I'll compensate this week by going completely dry, and then next weekend I'm going to bathe my entire liver in alcohol.
To me, that's definitely not balanced. That's extreme because that's what I'm like. Last week I was so good,
Right.
Everything was great, and ever since the Halloween podcast, it's all been shit for me. It's just, it is gone
But you could
down.
argue through the two extremes you achieve balance,
Right.
whereas somebody else might say, no, balance is, you have a few drinks.
You get to define your balance. How about that? Don't fucking tell me what my balance is. I'll tell you.
You speak your own truth, Virginia.
Thank you. A wise Indian once said.
Yes. Okay. Interesting. Do have a debate on this as well. Jody had sent this email earlier. We were talking on the regular show about an email that we got from this guy's been married for 2 years. He was a single dad, married a single mom. And he had a boy, she had a girl. They're 16 and 15 now, and he caught them in bed. It was suspicious, but not, the boy was shirtless. The girl was in skimpy shorts and a sports bra, and they were under the covers. Said they were watching a movie, but it was a TV show that was on, so it seems like they weren't really paying attention to the TV.
And they looked like they were thumb wrestling underneath the blanket.
Yeah, and it was after midnight. And he's like, you need to go to your own room. And so he's got to talk to his wife, I guess, this weekend. And
Yeah.
how do I deal with that? And Jody had said, in the state of Florida, the age of consent is 16, but a 15-year-old can't consent. So the scenario you're talking about in this email here would be considered sexual battery on the 16-year-old boy. It happens more than you realize. Now, my question, the first thing I said when I read this to Virginia, I'm like going, okay, so let's say this boy has a birthday on January 10th and he's 16 years old and he's dating a girl who is 2 months younger than he is, and her birthday is in March, and he has celebratory birthday sex with his 15-year-old girlfriend. because he just turned 16, he could go to prison
That
for
makes
sexual
no
battery?
sense.
Okay, so if the parents want to be pricks and push the issue, they can try to get the kid in trouble. Now, you also have to have the judge and everybody agree that kid should go up the river. It's going to be, but that is a law. There's some kind of a weird law once someone turns 16 and someone's still under the age of 16.
That's asinine. If you got
Yeah.
two, I mean, how
They're
many
the same
cases
age.
could you have?
They're the same age. Stop it.
Now, it's not a probable case. You're probably not going to win this, but it is, I believe, on the books.
Okay. We'll see. Grant in the chat room says not true. There's verbiage in there for a couple year overlap.
Objection, Grant, depending on the state.
Yeah, I guess we're asking about Florida. But yeah, that's what I'm curious about, because I would imagine you could go through every single high school in South Florida.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
And you could find multiple cases, and you could
Half
probably
of the kids.
You could probably put 200 teenage boys in prison today if you just wanted to go crazy by the books kind of guy.
Oh, I
if
mean,
that's what the law says.
There's laws in Florida how you can't give blowjob. There's laws that are on the books that aren't
You
ever.
can't?
If you look,
There go your weekend plans, Kevin.
if you look into
Yep.
the Florida laws, there are some weird sex laws that have not changed.
All Kevin's doing is just scratching out things on his calendar.
That's it. Yep. But you know what I can do in prison? Yeah, I'm kind of curious if that is what happens is if that's the case. I mean, imagine that if you had a prick judge and a prick attorney, a prick sheriff.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean,
Imagine that. Like, imagine if prick sheriff has 15-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
And he doesn't like her boyfriend who just turned 16 and catches them together. He could press charges, and if he's buddies with prick judge, they could send the 16-year-old boyfriend away.
Again, I don't think you're gonna get that, but technically,
You got to go to a small town, my man.
So that's what I mean. A small town.
Yeah.
That's where you're gonna
Small
be
town in
fucked.
Florida. You would not believe some of the justice that happens in some of these hick towns, man.
Small town justice,
Yeah.
bird.
Yeah.
They'd run a guy like you out of town.
Yeah, here's the weird laws I was telling you about. If you have sex in any position that's not missionary, you're breaking the law in Florida, technically. Who's going to bust you for that, though?
I love Mish. I'm good.
Yeah, Virginia's fine. She's a law-abiding citizen.
You would love Mish. That's all you love.
Yeah.
Lazy lover.
Okay.
I'm not doing gymnastics like some people, throwing out limbs and popping off toenails like you.
This is good. Having sexual relations with a porcupine is illegal in Florida. Finally on the books.
Illegal or-
Illegal, yeah. But they had to make that rule because people are fucking porcupines.
Well, that, honestly, you get your own punishment when you fuck a porcupine.
Thank you.
That poor porcupine.
I mean, a prick to a prick.
That's prick on prick crime.
Yeah. I mean, come on, right? Crazy. All right, well, we're learning stuff here.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. Okay, let's see here. Shiloh sent this in, said, need some advice from Denny's. I gotta get him in here. In a second. It's got to be a weed question.
Weed or video game?
Oh, yeah.
Or dark web.
Or dark
Sure, he
web.
does
My
have a
man
few
loves
areas.
the dark web. Oh, here he comes.
The dark one. That you guys are talking about?
Shiloh said, I have a medical marijuana license and I take Theragels with a 50-50 split of CBD and THC once a day, being that most Florida employers do not recognize the medical marijuana license and do drug tests for marijuana. Do you have any advice on getting rid of it from your system quickly? Do you know if Theragels or edibles move from your system at the same rate as smoking?
They're asking the wrong guy. They got to ask Drug Test Pennington over here.
Oh, yeah? You got the answers?
Well, yeah. Remember when we were going to Miami?
Piss in a cup, Pennington?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they, for
Yeah.
whatever reason, Kevin gives me a call. We just signed with Miami, and I just smoked the biggest blunt with Bigfoot. And he goes, hey, I just want to let you know we have a drug test for Cox Media, and it's in a week. I go, what, Kevin? In radio, they're testing for pot? who the fuck knew?
Yeah.
And I had to. I mean, you have to get the fats out of your body. You can't drink. You have to go on a strict diet. If you are worried about testing positive for pot, you have to exercise hard.
So crazy.
You got to. Was it niacin?
Niacin. Bird took a bunch of niacin.
We don't recommend niacin.
Have you ever taken that?
We thought
I don't know
niacin
anything about it.
pills?
No, I don't know anything about
it
it.
heats your body up, and it's supposed to just get things out of your system.
Oh,
The way it works?
I
I talked to you about
Isn't
it.
it in some weight loss pills?
It's
stuff?
in everything. I mean, it's in minor doses, even in bread. It's
Wow.
naturally occurring. But if you take an actual niacin pill, it gives you like 300% that you need for the day.
But do you remember we were supposed to take the test in a week, and then it kept on prolonging and going on.
Which is good.
It was good, but I think. Yeah, I was running my balls off for 5 weeks. People want to know why I was so skinny in Miami, because I was running to save my fucking job. Our job.
Should have never saved it.
Well, then what had happened was I took the test, and it was a Friday, and our agent called us, and they go, they don't have the results. It came back.
It's inconclusive.
It's inconclusive.
Oh, right,
I'm like,
yeah.
what?
Yeah.
I go, I haven't smoked weed in 40 days. I'm running my dick off. And finally, that Tuesday, our agent called and goes, "Oh, we got some news for you. You passed." Like, I passed?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, it depends on how long you have. It depends on, when they're going to test you. But that's the balls to the wall way to make sure. Unless you, do what Denny's did. And
yeah, meanwhile, Bird was going crazy. I just bought that fake dick. And I borrowed urine from a friend and went in and did it in like 20 minutes
So
and then didn't think about it ever again.
we were living together at the time, so he had to go in his own room to smoke his weed, and I would just be in the living room just fucking doing push-ups, and running. I'm going to I'm at the gym. I'm running with the trash bag on. People are looking at me like I'm a maniac.
I could have used anybody's urine because they didn't. When I did that drug test, they let me go in the bathroom. It was a single stall, one 4-wall unit. The door closed, and I locked it, and I peed in the cup, and then gave it to him. I could have used anybody's pee.
I had many forces making me freak out.
Yeah, you don't even have to use
I did. I had people making me freak out about it. I thought I was going to lose everybody's job on the show. I thought I was not going to get the KVJ show down to Miami because I smoked weed.
It's insane when you say it out loud.
Yeah.
In radio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I find out everybody in the building smokes weed. One of the bosses tell me, "Oh, dude, that's not a big deal. We would have got you through." I'm like, what?
I know. I smoked with like 40% of the people over there.
Well, just shows you who you should and shouldn't listen to.
It was a downtime. Well, because I knew Kevin was stressed out about it because we had our agent constantly calling, "So, how's he doing?"
Yeah, she wasn't a voice of comfort in that time.
No.
That voice has never been comfortable.
That's why I was a fucking psycho during that. Do you remember that?
Yeah. I do.
Yeah, but I don't think the audience knows that.
No.
We almost did not get Miami because we were waiting on a pot drug test from me.
But come to find out, it wasn't that big of a deal.
But Kev, you were stressed out by it.
Well, my agent was
the
stressing
agent
me
was
out.
stressing us out.
Big
but
time.
She didn't understand the situation fully.
Yeah.
She understood how to make me feel bad, though. That was for sure.
She was, she was good at. There was a lot of things. There was a lot of always stuff that she would stress me out about. And I didn't share a lot of it ever with you guys, but eventually, I'm just for the sake of stress. I can't have this agent anymore.
Yeah, man, it was.
I'm losing my mind.
Yeah. I'm so happy we don't have an agent.
Yeah, we are agentless now, in case you're wondering. Yeah, at the time we had the same agent representing the whole show, and so we decided we don't have one now.
Yeah, and different agents. I mean, we all like each other. When you get different agents fighting for that, to me, that's a messy situation.
Oh, it is. That would be messy. But then it's also messy to have an agent like we had that was like not helping our chemistry. That was difficult too.
Yeah.
Because we have no problem getting along, us, when left to our own devices. But then you get people poking the snake.
Yeah.
I was wearing trash bags.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Homie was running on the treadmill in a trash bag,
Well,
trying to sweat it out.
All or nothing in Pennington. I got the memo. I'm like, all right, Denny's, I have to run for 24 days.
So was yours 5 weeks for you to get it out of your system?
I think I had, because I'd go every single day and buy 3 drug tests. And
The problem was that places were running out of them because we were buying them. We would have to go all over town to buy drug tests.
I bought I'm not even kidding.
Anything in the vicinity was gone.
I bought every, because I was just so scared.
They couldn't even stock them.
For a little weed. I was going crazy for a little.
For a little weed. It sounds ridiculous.
I've always worked in entertainment, and it's always been like a prerequisite to be a pothead. Like, they want that.
They want a guy who has a connection.
Totally. So the fact that we were going to a place where you couldn't have weed was insane to me.
I'm not kidding you. It was like me and Bigfoot. Oh man, it's a great song. Hey, what's up, Birds? Kev? Yeah, we have a drug test in a week. What? Talk about harshing your buzz, man. Oh my God. I looked at Bigfoot. I go, oh my gosh, I am so fucked.
You can let that lady know, though. It could be as little as 2 weeks, depending on how chronic she smokes.
Yes,
Okay.
that is. It could be. Denny's is 100% right.
It all depends on your body, too. If you're a skinnier person, it's going to go quicker because it stores in your fat cells.
Just like medical stuff, I read too much stuff on the internet, and I when I was peeing, it was coming back negative. I'm like, all right, that's good. But then the people a home test is way different than a lab. It can stay in your system for 9 years.
Jeez. Yeah.
No, I mean,
But weed is different than cocaine. Isn't cocaine out pretty
It'll
quick?
be like 3 days
Oh,
max.
yeah.
Connie cocaine can have a bender and it'd be out of her system in 2 days.
Right.
Which is ridiculous, because, I mean, most people that are addicts can pull it together for 3 days.
Oh, absolutely.
yeah.
And get the job and go right back to rails.
Oh, definitely.
Like,
Right.
that's kind of silly. It's flipped the wrong way.
I think it's barbiturates and marijuana are the ones that stay in the longest.
I remember.
What's a barbiturate?
That's like a Xanax, right?
Those are the antidepressants. I think the barbiturates are. Aren't they?
The Xanax has got a. It's like a drug.
That one's got like a 2 weeker in it, right?
That Xanax, if you're a heavy user on a Xanax, I think that could be up to
So chronic
up to a
use is
week.
different. If you're a chronic user, then it does take longer. I mean, you're looking at like a month. For pot, you're looking at almost possibly 2 months, depending on how chronic you are.
Wow.
In rare cases, because you always get somebody, 2 months can stay in your system. Typically, 30 days you should be good. Typically.
Well, I had a friend, he was on probation. He had to do drug tests every month, right? So the day he would take his drug test, he would go and smoke a joint. And then after his drug test, and then he wouldn't have another drug test for 3.5 more weeks. So by the time, since he didn't use it often, it would be out of his system in less than 10 days. So that's how he got through the system.
How'd you know this loser?
I was in probation.
The barbiturates are the sedatives, like your Xanax and all that stuff.
Okay.
So those stay in a little bit longer.
Well, they have like 9 different drug things. When you're reading the box, it's a test for this and that and this. I'm like, I just want to test for weed. I don't give a shit about cocaine. I'll do cocaine.
It really is. To me, just the whole thing is so silly. I really can't wait to see what happens in Oregon with them saying, recreational use of basically anything is cool. And
So they decriminalized it in Oregon, meaning you won't be tried for it. It's not a crime.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't think you can just go around like huffing it. You'll still have a notice to appear and stuff. You just can't go to prison or jail for it.
And how would you
Yeah.
even buy that too? Like, I mean, you have to buy it on the download. They're not gonna have
So
a
I don't
cocaine
think they
shop.
have medical.
yeah, I don't know if it's necessarily like it's allowed. It's just decriminalized, meaning they don't want to fill up all their jails with what they
Yes.
deem to
God,
not
Exactly.
be serious.
okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Because think about how big the heroin problem is in America. I think
Yeah.
they're trying to be proactive and not putting people on heroin into prison
Right,
system.
see, we're not solving
put them
the
into
problem.
a medical.
We're just locking people up like rats, and they still have problems. Let's actually address the problem. Being in a cage
Exactly.
isn't fixing the problem.
Exactly, because it's proven it hasn't done anything.
Yeah.
The war on drugs. We didn't win that thing.
If anything, it's escalated it. It's made it into a
it
full
has.
business.
Well,
I know.
I've heard that philosophy that, a lot of these, especially the militarized cartels and things like that, that if you started, getting governments more involved and opening the doors a little bit more, then that's why you have the violence that you have, where if government started stepping up and saying, okay, we're going to take control of this, and our populations can start, being adults, and hey, if you choose to do it, that's fine. It's up to you.
You wonder how society would be
Right.
if it wasn't like the way it is now. I'm not saying good or bad. I'm just merely curious.
Yeah, because you could open it up, and I'm not going to go out if it were legal and buy blow today and start railing my brains out this weekend.
But some people would argue it normalizes it, and people who normally wouldn't do cocaine
Would
is now
now.
doing it. Because you see that with weed, it's been normalized way more, and way more people do it now. I mean,
People are like, well, let's go get some.
well, soccer moms are like, well, I saw it on Weeds. She was a soccer mom. Let's eat some edibles.
So I buy it at the dispensary, so I see everybody that, because you sit in the waiting room. The way they have the COVID rules now, they only let a certain amount of people in the waiting room. Only certain people are allowed in the back, and then they keep the numbers. So you watch a lot of people cycle in and out, and it's everybody. I mean, people
Yeah.
you wouldn't imagine that smoke pot now smoke pot.
Well, even
Yeah.
just talking about it on the air. I remember when we were back at Wild, would bring up pot or something. Like, Virginia, shut the fuck up. No, don't talk about it. And then when we kind of got to RMF, it did seem like things were dying down because I think of all the legalization that happened.
Yeah, and to me, it's like, when you look at the other side of it, to me, a soccer mom doing a little bit of blow is less horrifying than a headless body that's hanging over a bridge.
In Mexico.
Yeah,
Or you're
so-
about to go for your Thanksgiving
Yeah.
in Mexico.
So,
But could you imagine soccer moms all hopped up on cocaine during a game? That's my fucking son. Put him in.
yeah. Again, I would still take that.
I would
Entertaining.
actually go to that game.
Yeah.
That sounds
Oh
entertaining.
yeah,
That would be an awesome game.
Soccer moms on coke watching their kids play.
That's how you get me to Little League Soccer.
yes.
Yeah. Well, it's an interesting discussion. Who knows where it'll go, and other places will blaze the trail, and maybe in 10, 15, 20 years, we're just sitting back being going, yeah, can you remember when drugs were illegal?
Yeah.
That'd be amazing if we ever had that conversation.
If you educate people on what it does and people still decide to do it and they're an adult,
Yeah.
then I feel like the decision has been made by them.
well, as
Right.
long as you're not hurting anybody.
Yeah, but you criminalize that. If you get on drugs and you hurt somebody,
Yes.
guess what? You're in an assload of trouble.
Well, if you
Absolutely.
do a bunch of blow and then you strangle 3 hookers. Yeah, you're going up the
You're in
river.
trouble, yeah.
Well, and I think the difference too with marijuana compared to some of the other drugs, I mean, even compared to prescription medications, is the non-habit forming portion of it. I know marijuana does come with its negatives, but it isn't habit forming. If it's habit forming, it's psychological. It's not an actual addiction.
Yeah.
It's
so
not chemical.
cocaine will absolutely you can get
Yeah.
addicted to.
Well,
Same with heroin.
I mean, alcohol.
Alcohol's
is
super
habit
habit
forming.
I do both, and alcohol is way worse. Not to sound like one of those pot people.
Yeah.
I'm just being honest.
But no, you're right. I mean, this is just when you're looking at life rationally, as I think we should, there are things that just rationally, the way we have things set up does not make sense.
Yeah.
And, when my wife was working at a drug abuse place, the opioid thing, I'm like, this is bonkers. This really is asinine how we have the opioid situation, and just seeing and understanding a little bit more what life of addiction is like. And the stories where I think going into it before she worked there, I was like, these are junkies. These are people that they didn't have their life together anyway. More and more, there was like, this kid was a straight A high school football player, got an injury, got on the opioids. Next thing you know, he's a heroin junkie and ruined his chance at high school, all that kind of, or college and all that stuff.
Did
I'm
you
like,
ever watch The Pharmacist on Netflix?
No, I never got around to
It's
that.
so good. It's out of New Orleans. It's a great documentary.
Is it people who are just normal people that they go and a doctor
It tells you the whole
prescribe?
thing. It shows you behind the scenes of the pill mills. It
Yeah.
shows you the behind the scenes of the OxyContin pushers and manufacturers.
Terrible.
And the guy that tried to take
Yeah.
it down. And it's
I'll
like
have to
a
watch that.
beautiful
Yeah.
story.
Well,
Yeah, you should watch The Pharmacist. It's really good.
I told y'all when I first went to a psychiatrist when I was in my early 20s, maybe 19, 20, 21, I can't remember. I told him what was going on because I had crippling panic disorder where you've seen it before in front of the buildings and all that. First thing he did was give me Xanax. And I can honestly say I was so naive. I didn't know what they felt. I thought they were just like a Prozac or something. And I took one and holy shit, I felt like I chugged 2 beers or something like that. Yeah. And it is a slippery slope to go down. Even on the Xanax level, it can ruin your life.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that's why, to me, just everything that we have, the drug game and the legalization and what is illegal, it's asinine. To me, it should all be thrown out and start from scratch because it's not written right.
And to your point of them just giving anything out, you guys know that I have terrible insomnia, and the one thing that has helped was marijuana. But they used to give me Ambien back in the day. I can't fucking believe that drug is still on the market.
I know.
I mean, it's a bonkers drug.
It's asinine.
It is,
and it's because it's the bigger
It's
game
pharmaceutical.
of it, pharmaceutical money, politics, all tied in together that keeps it the way it is. And that's just like, you can't believe these politicians have our best interests at heart when the rules and the laws are still the way they are.
The lobbyist.
Yeah.
Yep.
They lobby for that.
Yeah, that's why we
It's
still
a whole
have
business.
a messed up system that's not created for what is best for the people.
Sean wants to know what the problem is with Ambien. I don't know if Sean's ever not been on that before. If you happen to not fall asleep on it, you start to hallucinate.
You can stay awake on Ambien, and it's really bad.
And you don't want to stay awake. Some people have that reaction where they can't go to sleep and they're fucking, all of a sudden they're eating ice cream and riding their neighbor's horse. They have no idea how that happened.
Yeah.
It sounds fun.
Not for the horse.
Okay, boy, you just send one little email about marijuana, and look, we 20 minutes on drugs.
Yeah, I
We love
apologize
drugs.
for taking the ball over Denny's.
You were in it.
I was really in it, and
Yeah.
the audience never heard that before.
Gene sent this in, said, listen to the show from Thursday where someone had told Jay Bird to consider a houseboat to live on. I wanted to ask if he had ever considered a manufactured home. Just curious his thought, maybe a mobile home community or buying land and buying a manufactured home for it.
Thought about buying land for a split second, and then I sobered up.
Okay.
Yeah, I think hopefully this offer I put in with this house is going to work out.
Oh, you put in an offer.
We're the beginning stages of it. We saw it yesterday.
The 2-story or the 1-story?
The 2-story.
Interesting.
It was really cool looking.
Very
inside.
cool house. Laid
Yeah.
out very different.
A little older than I want, but I like the feel. No pool or anything, but it's got a big yard.
Giant yard.
Yeah, you showed it to me. We looked at it. I thought it was a quorky layout.
It's like 3
Very
streets
quirky.
from my old house back on in Gardens. So, yeah, Denny's really like. I wanted to bring my boy with me because I don't like doing it by myself. It's too. I don't.
It's
know.
hard to recall all the
It's hard.
details.
yeah.
And he knows me.
Yeah, I think that place is awesome. And not to go into too much details, but I think you guys have a strategy of what you want to pay because it does require a little bit of work. And if he's not going to, or the person's not going to pay to have that stuff updated, then I don't think you should pay the cost.
Yeah, if it's because we're going in there with a plan, and if they don't take the plan, fuck off.
Yeah.
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 For real.
Well, you got to protect yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's a weird time too. People are putting up prices because people in the neighborhoods are pricing houses at these high prices, and then random people are coming down and buying them.
Right, because they're not familiar with
'Cause
our real estate market.
Exactly.
They're from New York, where this seems like a bargain.
I'm starting to see it even more each month that's going on. They are starting to really overprice houses.
I think houses are seeing that. People are seeing that, and they're matching those prices to sell their house without any warrant.
And then people aren't buying it because there's some people where you're like, all right, motherfucker, you're not getting that money. There's no way.
People that
anyone's
come
gonna
from
buy-
other states don't know the market, and
Yeah.
they come down and buy them. And
I'm
it's
not going to
crazy.
pay you more than it appraises for.
home flippers and they're right. We've seen a few home flippers.
Very popular.
I think the pandemic has kicked it up, and I think the fear of the pandemic, some people trying to flee urban areas because they're so freaked out about getting the virus.
Sure.
That they have said, get your ass out of here. Let's get to Florida.
Yeah.
It's warm, the
I think
virus
you're
can't
right.
live
I
there.
can absolutely see that.
Yeah, that's all kind of the stuff that's gone on, which, by the way, the always daily confusing information, I saw that apparently weather doesn't play a major role in spreading coronavirus. You know, they're like saying, "Oh, look out!
The cold."
When the cold."
Turns
Yeah.
out Corona loves the cold.
Loves it.
Yeah.
Thrives on it.
The latest study I saw today says neither warm nor cold weather makes the coronavirus more or less likely to spread.
Yeah, Corona's like, yo, let me do my thing.
It's like a mailman. Even in the sleet of night, that bitch is coming for you.
Corona says, stop speaking for me.
Yeah, let me show you what I can do.
The one thing that does help us out, though, they're thinking with the spread of viruses is, you probably heard this, people going indoors because of the weather.
Right.
Then once you're in there, that's where
you get it.
That's the reason why they're thinking the cold weather spreads the virus. It's not the temperature. It is the fact that you're all indoor because you guys are freezing cold.
Another reason to come to Florida because we don't really have that winter other people speak of.
Yeah.
The other states, all the other states talk so much shit about Florida. I think we're the most talked about, the most shit talking state. I think everyone really.
But yet they'll come here quick on vacation, say
right?
how nice it is
Yeah.
in December.
Yeah.
They think we're all Florida, man.
They
think
do.
all of us are.
Anytime I talk to my Colorado friends, they all think everyone here is a Florida man.
Yeah.
They do.
You're either on Palm Beach or you do cocaine in West
Yep.
Palm Beach. That's what they think.
It's a weird
That's all you hear.
stigma.
That's all you hear, though, coming out of Florida.
You're right.
Yeah. Another thing says that the sun's radiation plays a role, too. UV rays kill viruses. We don't get as many in the winter, but at least they don't up north because it is like gray and nasty. Down here, you'll get more sun.
You're right.
So I think it is. That's why you're probably seeing people scrambling to get down here and get those houses and the prices the way they are.
Yeah, great time to buy a house.
Well, because think about it. If you live up in New York and the cost of living's higher and you get paid more, and you come down to Florida, usually the cost of living would be less. So, but now, it's probably the same, right? Because I was looking at Colorado real estate, and the prices for apartments there are the same as West Palm now, and I was paying $500 for a flat a month, which is nothing in Colorado Springs.
Yeah, I mean,
Colorado's booming. It's one of those states a lot of people
you can't
are going
move
to.
there now.
Yeah.
It's too expensive.
Yeah.
they at the townhouse I'm at right now, they are already upped the rent.
Really?
Oh yeah, so
Yeah, there's a couple hot spots for housing right now in the country that people are gravitating towards.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, they're all in all the areas I'm looking at. It's awesome.
They upped your rent, right up yours.
Oh, they did. No, it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't get me started. Peace. The weekend.
Get a place in Scranton. I hear real estate's pretty cheap there right now.
Scranton.
Yeah.
It's from where the office is at.
Yeah, it's the main location.
Yeah, it's going well there. I got this email from an anonymous KVJ Nationer. Said, since the beginning of the pandemic, myself and my kid, we love being isolated. Having only close family around sometimes, we had an amazing time together, and our relationship is stronger than ever. My boyfriend has been on and off his office, and this week my kid turned to the physical school, and yesterday was the first time I had half of my day alone at home, and I loved it. I love both of them, but I didn't realize how much I miss having some time for myself. As Virginia always says, sorry, not sorry. I'm enjoying getting things back to normal.
Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah.
There is something to be said for a little solitude in the house because you can do what you want to do for a little while. If you have these kids running around, you got to do what they need. You got to feed them and bathe them, and that's a lot.
Billy Joel's got a song called Room of Your Own. Everyone needs a room of their own every now and then to get the fuck away from everything. Hello? Is this thing on? Billy Joel? Hello?
Really, Billy Joel B-sides again?
That is some B-side shit.
Deep cuts nobody's ever heard of.
Deep cut pennies.
Making me wish for Allentown.
I'm learning it.
I know.
Yeah. You were not into it. I was trying to practice with Virginia. She's over there.
I was prepping for my dirt. I take my shit serious.
Oh, cool. You're ninth dirt.
And a Feel Good Friday to Jimmy and Carolina. He said, 2020, I know it's been tough for a lot of people, but it's been the best year for me. I got engaged to my Colombian princess, and we got our first house.
Nice.
I got engaged, so there you go.
Good for you. It's a big year.
Look at that
We're trying to buy this house. It's a 2-story yellow.
You motherfuckers. How dare you?
Yeah.
They're going to undercut you.
Just want to let you know.
So we saw Bird leaving yesterday.
We told the homeowner, make no improvements. We'll take it as is, full ask.
And the guy that guy that just left, he's on meth. He's going to come and he's just gonna fuck everything up.
All right, well, you guys have a fantastic weekend. We'll see you back here on Monday. Goodbye.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.